What is up, Vapewares, consumers, customers, family, and friends? Today we're going to be talking about four stupendous, fantastic, amazing things. The Sigelei 150 watt box mod, the Tugboat rebuildable atomizer, the E-Leaf eye stick, and the Aspire Nautilus Mini. So we're going to jump right into that. I'm very excited. I've been working all day on the literature, which is super stupendous. Look at my hair, it's just poof. That's stupendous. Anyway, we're gonna get right into it, because that's not what it's about. It's about vapor, and vapor is good. It's good stuff. Shall we begin? The E-Leaf eye stick at a glance Vapewares product review. The eye stick is a huge breakthrough in the intermediate vaping section. Now I say intermediate because it's neither brand new walk in the door vapor and it's not advanced mech mod, box mod vapors. However, I know many a mechanical user and box mod user, advanced e-cigarette user who owns an eye stick. I know many a person who have started and jumped straight into the eye stick. It's kind of that middle ground, intermediate road where you can kind of just jump in and be happy. It's super simplistic, and we will get into that. So let's start at the top. This small 20 watt device is the perfect intro to mods for the average e-cigarette user. Quick reference specs, real quick, for you guys who like the specs. 2200 mAh lithium ion battery, variable voltage and variable wattage. The variable voltage goes from 3 volts to 5.5 volts, and the variable wattage goes from 7 watts to 20 watts. Someday I may film a video on Ohm's law and the difference between variable voltage and variable wattage, because we get that question a lot, and it might help to just put a video out there. So be thinking about that, and we'll see if that video comes to fruition. OLED display. It's a really nice display. The ohms range, resistance range, is 1 ohm to 3 ohms. Pass-through capable, 5-click lock, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Locked, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unlocked. Sweet, on and off, it's beautiful. What is in the box, my friends? What is in the box? The E-Leaf eye stick device, that part, the silver part, the user manual, and an eGo to 510 connection. No, it does not come with a charger. However, it is a standard micro USB charger, which can be found not only here, but anywhere else on the planet. So, moving on, competitive landscape. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. The E-Leaf eye stick competitive landscape consists of other variable voltage and variable wattage devices, such as the iTaste MVP, Kanger iPow, and Aspire carbon fiber variable voltage battery. The eye stick has outdone them all due to the long-lasting battery life, compact design, and simplistic menu. The Aspire Nautilus Mini pairs perfectly with this device to create the ultimate starter setup. It's small, guys. I mean, look at the comparison. This is a Hexome with an Atlantis versus the eye stick with a Nautilus, and I can show you an even bigger comparison. This is the Sigelei 150 watt versus the E-Leaf eye stick. It's a good small device, and it's going to last you all day long. It's 100 milliamp hours short of the first MVP, and we remember how big the first MVP was. It was massive compared to what we have here. So it's a very compact design. If you want a really more in-depth what's inside this thing, go look at Phil Pissardo's video. He does pull it all apart and look at the chipset, the board, and the battery. And the battery is in actuality an 18650. Surprise! However, it's not one of those pop out, pop in 18650s. It is wrapped up and wired, and it's a whole mess of things. But you guys can go look at that video for some more in-depth what is in this thing time with Phil Pissardo. Moving on to the pros and cons, and a lot of people were saying that they really like the pros and cons because we're honest about it. We're not going to tell you, oh, it's the best thing ever, when there are issues. If there are issues, I'm going to let you know about it. That's just the way we do things. Pros: comfortable hold, simplistic menu, solid button configuration, power, up, down, simple, variable voltage and variable wattage, long-lasting battery, pass-through capable. I'm going to backtrack for a second. Right now it's in wattage mode, 9.4. 1, 2, 3 clicks will change it to voltage mode, which is 4.2 volts. 1, 2, 3 clicks, and it will send us back to wattage mode. The cons of this device: non-adjustable 510 connection, no charging indicator outside of looking at the screen, connection problems after average wear and tear, and it needs more cowbell. Ring, ring, ring. I don't hear anything. But that's neither here nor there. That's a running joke between Jerry and myself. The Vapewares rating system. The Vapewares rating system. Design, we're going to give her an 8. Diversity, we are going to give it a 7. Future potential, 7. Due to the fact that, unlike most box mods, and I guess this is technically a box mod, there is no future. This is what it is, this is what it does, and we've become so accustomed to things like upgradable software, which we'll get into with the Sigeli. We're going to talk about the fact that that doesn't have it either. But it's not something that's necessary, especially when this is an intermediate device. It doesn't have to be upgradable. But you get what you get, you don't pitch a fit. It's good. It's good. It's tasty. I'm going to bump the wattage down a little bit, give it a primer pub. What I got in here is some delicious mustard from Bulldog Vapor. Kiwi custard is a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Kudos to you, Wesley. And that is everything we have for the iStick. Any questions you can post in the comments below, and I will get to them accordingly. Next, while we're in this area, we're going to talk about this tank up here. The Aspire Nautilus Mini. The Nautilus is the next generation of tank systems. Made of stainless steel and glass, the Nautilus also uses the Aspire bottom vertical coil and ceramic wick atomizer technology. Whew, that's a mouthful. Try to say that 4 times fast. Quick reference specs, bottom vertical coils, and for anyone who doesn't know, bottom vertical coil is just a fancy new type of coil technology that Aspire developed and started pushing out. And instead of having on the Kangers where you have your wicks and then you have your coil, like we do on rebuildables, but in a much smaller form, this is actually ceramic around and then coil around, like that. It wicks perfectly. Moving. I love ceramic wick. A lot of people are freaking out about the Atlantis wick. We'll do if you want to see that video, go over to Navs. I'm not going to post it here, but I have addressed that issue, and the things that everyone's freaking out about the Aspire wicks in the Atlantis are the same things that we've been vaping on since the Kanger Pro Tank 1. Sorry, if we were going to freak out, the time was 3 years ago. Moving on. Adjustable airflow, 4 adjustments. Click, 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 clickety, clickety, click, 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 click. 2 milliliter capacity, because this is obviously the Mini. It's just so small and so wonderful. 510 drip tip compatible. Cherry Vapes drip tip. Pop. Comes with a stainless steel one. We'll get into that in a minute. And what's in the box? Adjustable pin, bottom fill, and glass tank. Those were the quick reference specs. I should also note, since I neglected to do this, this is a 1.8 Nautilus coil in here that comes with it. They also make them in 1.6, but this right here is a 1.8. Neglected to mention that in the quick reference specs. I will edit later. What's in the box? What's in the box? Aspire Nautilus Mini. Duh. Stainless steel drip tip. Duh. Additional bottom vertical coil. That's nice of them. Beauty ring. User manual. It's a decent manual. It's not super thick or anything, but it'll get the job done. Competitive landscape. Ahem. Ahem. 7 years ago. No, I'm kidding. The Aspire Nautilus Mini competitive landscape is hard to nail down due to the unique coil system, BVC, bottom vertical coil. However, bottom vertical coils aside, the Aspire tanks are only rivaled by Kanger. Vision doesn't come up to it. Any of the other tank manufacturers, Smoke doesn't come up to it. The only two that kind of butt heads are Kanger and Aspire. And that being said, the only thing that comes close is the Kanger Aero tank, and even with the Aero tank, the material quality and the airflow options blow the Aero tank away. It shows the Nautilus is the victor, is what I wrote down. Anyway, neither here nor there. Nautilus kicks butt. The Atlantis kicks butt. I'll take Aspire every day of the week, guys. You put Aspire and Kanger in the boxing ring, and I'm betting on Aspire. Now the sub-tank fans are all going to get uppity and be like, but we have more milliliter capacity. We're using organic cotton. Whatever. Everyone makes good devices. Well, not everyone, but most people make good devices. And you know what? you know what? While I'm discussing this, I'm going to bring up something that Basardo said in one of his videos today. So bear with me while I grab that link. It kind of goes into what I'm saying with everyone makes good devices. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not a good device. And I mentioned that today in Navs, where I said the following. I was watching Phil Basardo's video on the eLeaf iStick today, and he said something that really got to me. He told a story about a guy who came up to him at a convention and asked him to review a device so that he would know if it was any good. Phil asked him 3 questions. Are you using it? He said yes. Are you happy? He said yes. Phil asked him, are you smoking? The guy said no. And Phil said something wonderful and beautiful. He said, then there is nothing wrong with it. It is perfect. And that's how I feel. This is not my everyday. That is my everyday. However, if you come in and you buy one of these and this gets you off of cigarettes and it keeps you off of cigarettes, this is the greatest device in the world. That's it. There's no nitpicking. There's no sub-ohm versus typical resistance. There's no box mod versus mech mod versus ego pen versus 808 battery with auto draw. If it keeps you off of cigarettes, then it's doing its job. That's my nitpicking of that current situation. Pros and cons. Pros and cons. Bottom vertical coil technology. Pro. Ceramic wicking to avoid dry hits. Pro. 4 airflow options. Pro. Adjustable pin. Pro. Removable drip tip. Pro. Stainless steel construction. Pro. Now, the next thing I'm about to mention is a pro and a con. That would be glass tank. It's a glass tank. And this is the first con I put on here. Glass is not shatterproof, folks. I think we're all grown up enough to know that. Glass isn't shatterproof. They fixed this issue with the Aspire Atlantis by offering an additional tank within the initial box that you buy. So you get your tank, and then you get an additional glass piece in case that breaks. We do sell the replacement pieces for the Nautilus Mini. Glass isn't shatterproof. Another con is something that I mentioned up in the quick reference specs, 2 milliliter tank. Now, this is a quick fix. If you want the same performance but with more milliliter capacity, buy the normal Nautilus. It's the same exact thing, but bigger. Cons, the Aspire curse, and I mentioned this last time. If you accidentally torque the tank down, it is near impossible to remove from your device. You can ask myself, you can ask Jerry, you can ask Jen. We've all had either to break a Nautilus to get it off, or an Atlantis. It didn't really matter. It could be Aspire or anything. But we've all broken glass, and we've all almost broken devices trying to get it off. So here's what I do. This is pro tip. Pro tip. I'm not better than you. I'm just on the camera, and you're there watching. So pro tip. When you screw down your any Aspire tank, screw it down till you feel resistance, and then back off a quarter turn. Guess what? It still vapes. Would have been really embarrassing if it didn't vape, but it still does vape. And that'll deal with a lot of your torque down issues. Next one is going to be 510 connection is easily stripped. See con number 2 about the Aspire curse. If you don't torque down your tank, you're not going to strip your 510. There you have it. The Vapewares rating. Vapewares. Flavor production, we're going to give her an 8. Vapor production, we're going to give her an 8. Design, we're going to give her an 8. Capacity, I'm going to give it a 7, only because there is a bigger version, and capacity is based on milliliters, not whether or not you like the device. So capacity, 7. Overall, we're going to give her an 8. And that's become something that I kind of just joke about, because a bunch of people either left comments or sent me messages the first time I ever said, we're going to give her an 8, because they laughed at me. So moving on, continuing, because that's not what it's about. Guess what it is about, folks? We're moving away from the intermediate and into the advanced section. Now, before I get into this, we're going to cut away real quick. No, we're not. I lied. Want to know why? Because we're going to do the box mod first and then talk about tugboat. Guess what, guys? I made you a video, a special video just for you. I made you a building video in which I build the tugboat out of camera view. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. It's only like 5 minutes long, so I'm throwing it in there anyway because I do talk while we do it. But it's kind of cool, and if you like that kind of thing, stick around for it. If you don't, skip 5 minutes ahead. But not right now, because right now we're going to talk about the Skelly 150 watt. 150 watts of power, yeah. 88 watts of power, 88 watts of power, as Doug would say in his Doc accent or whatever. Back to the future. Hashtag Back to the Future. By the way, guys, Happy New Year. Happy 2015. Isn't it great? We're in the year that Back to the Future called the future. I'm so glad we don't dress like Biff, though. That does make me happy. Moving forward, the Sigelli 150 watt. Make sure it's on. No, that's off. Why does no one listen to me? Why does this box not listen to me? That was my country twang coming out. I hope that never happens again. Good grief. Power, 54 watts. Ah, now we're talking. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Yeah, so much vapor. Okay. Sigelli 150 watt. At a glance. The Sigelli 150 watt is a steady quality high-end box mod. That's all I got, because it took me 20 minutes to write that. Because here's the issue, guys, and we'll get into this with the competitive landscape. There are so many box mods coming out right now, I can't find something special to say about each and every one of them. But we'll get into that in competitive landscape. Quick reference specs for my specky friends. Copper 510 connection. That's cool. That's very cool. Some people may say, well, it's a regulated box mod, it doesn't matter, but it does. Put the Cloudport T8 and the Sigelli 150 watt. Put them at both. Same build, 80 watts. This fire's better, just a little bit. Delicious. That is Crimson Tears. And today, the Crimson Tears are real. Roll Tide roll. I don't want to talk about it. There you go, Wes. Crimson Tears. Moving forward, quick reference specs. Copper 510 connection. 10 to 150 watts of power. Watts of power! Resistance range, 0.1 to 3 ohms. I don't like 0.1. I stay away from 0.1. I wrapped this at a 0.5 because you can argue with me about safety all day. I'm going to wrap at 0.4 and 0.5. That's just me. You can do what you want. Just make sure you know what you're doing when you do what you want. LED screen. Whoop. Screen. Can't see that very well because, you know, whatever. Maybe one day I'll get like an HD GoPro and we'll just do this all from up here. That's not what it's about. What it is about is some more quick reference specs for my friends. Simplistic menu, legitimately, and we'll get into this a little bit, but this menu, it's beautiful. Wattage top left, voltage top right, battery percentage bottom left, resistance bottom right. No menu finagling, no messing with things. Just up, down, left, right, select, start. Anyway, that's the Konami code. It's nowhere near the Konami code, but you get what I'm saying. Let's give her a vape. Dear Noah, put juice in your atomizer. Love, dry hit. You do. Juicy, juicy, juicy. What's in the box, guys? Well, let's finish talking about the quick reference specs. If we can get through this section, we might move on to the next one. Simplistic menu, duh. Just talked about that. Dual 18650, always a plus when you can put two 18650s into a box. Magnetic back, which is a must for me now. I hate the IPv3 only because it's a great device, only because of its screws. I hate them. What's in the box, guys? What's in the box? Sigelli 150 box mod, duh. User manual, warranty card, and rubber mod cover, which I think is awesome. Do you see this right here? This is not part of the mod. This is the rubber mod cover. I'm going to pull it off real quick. That's what the device looks like without the cover on it. However, it came, there's your ventilation. Oh, I love ventilation. It came with a straight up cover on it, like a Vapor Shark skin, which are kind of pricey for the Vapor Sharks, and this one's kind of big. But just really cool of them. Really cool of them to throw that in there, and it does protect from against dust and obviously scratching if you were to drop it. It's not going to protect from like being thrown against a wall, but you follow. Competitive landscape, my friends, and this is what we were talking about earlier. The Sigelli 150 watt box mod competitive landscape consists of other high-end maximum power box mods. Mods in this category would be, at least at Vapewares, the IPv3, the Cloudport T8, and the God mod. Where the Sigelei really stands out is its simplicity and accessibility. The menu system is very easy to use, like I explained earlier, and the hardware itself is easy to access due to its magnetic back and protective sleeve. It's just cool stuff, guys. It's the Chinese vape industry, which we used to despise just because of the Clone Wars and crappy product and late shipping times, but now they kind of gotten the vision. I think they're really putting a lot of time and effort into these box mods, into their tanks, the sub-tank, the Atlantis, the Aspire CF mods. Everything that's been coming out of the big China names recently has been good. Obviously, just because you can doesn't mean you should. The perfect example of that is the Aerotank Turbo by Kanger, but they got some redemption after the sub-tank, so we're all just going to pretend that the Aerotank Turbo didn't happen. Moving forward to pros and cons. Pros. Pros: comfortable hold, protective sleeve, magnetic back, user-friendly interface, and by user-friendly interface, I mean there's nothing you have to do other than press up, down, and power. High power, 150 watts, I would never go there. I'm perfectly happy at 0.5 and 58 watts, but it is there if you want it. Dual 18650. Moving to the cons. No internal charging. You can't just plug it in and charge your 18650s that way. That is one of the things that I love about a couple other box mods, including what we talked about last week, which was the SX Mini. Great mod. It's not technically a box, but internal charging. No future software upgradability, and trust me, I looked and I checked. Here's the issue. There's nowhere to plug in here to upgrade anything. So no software upgradability in the future, which is it's unfortunate because I would like them to be able to tweak things and make things better, even if that's just battery protection and stuff like that. However, there's no need to go above 150. Other box mods have done it. God mod. But there's no real purpose. And the final con is no wattage memory settings, meaning you have to constantly push up and down to get your desired power when you're switching between tanks, RDAs, etc. Vapewares rating. Woohoo! Vapewares. Design, we're going to give her an 8. Diversity, we're going to give her an 8. Future potential, we're going to give her a 7, due to the fact that there's no future potential when it comes to upgrades. However, future potential of this line of box mods, I see it. I see the next Sigelei box mod, which may or may not be the Sigelei Mini in store soon. But I think Sigelei's got a good thing going for them, and I'm excited to see what they do next. And battery life, 9. 9 due to the fact that two 18650s all day long. The only thing that will ever get a battery life 10 from me or the company in general is going to be the God mod. Even though I don't really like the God mod does hold 3 18650s and will last you all day long. Overall, we're going to give her an 8. I really like the number 8, if you can't tell. Moving forward to the Tugboat. The Tugboat. Now, real quick, I'm going to go through this part, being at a glance, quick reference specs, what's in the box, and then we're going to cut to me rebuilding that coil that we talked about earlier, and then we'll move to competitive landscape, pros, cons, Vapewares rating, etc. So, enjoy, and we will see you after some uppy-closey time. What is up, guys? It is Noah here today to show you the Tugboat V2 build video. Now, if everything goes well and Movie Maker actually lets me do what I want to do, you'll be seeing this in the middle of the big video that we're doing today. I'm just going to show you a real quick build on this 3-post tugboat. It's got a copper center post. Of course, I'll go into all of that. Just wanted to show you a little quick build video. This will be my first build video, and I'll probably mess up multiple times. We're just going to give her a go real quick. First thing I'm going to do is cut off some wire. What we're going to do is we're going to be shooting for about a 0.5, 0.6. I'm using 26 gauge. I'm probably going to do a 7/8 wrap. There we go. Whew. That was my biggest fear about this video, was I going to let an entire spool of Canthal just run amok. But no, not today, my friends. First thing we're going to do is we're going to undo the screws up here. Get them kind of out of the way. Make sure everything's good. Beautiful. Take our Kanthal. I'm going to be using a 2.4 millimeter screwdriver, and we're just going to start wrapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll do. You know what? Let's go 8, 9. 8. Now it's going to be 8 on one side, 9 on the other. Get everything nice and good. Clip these leads real quick. I'll take my pliers. I'm going to scrunch it down a little bit. Pull on the leads, make sure everything's tight. Alright, I'll set that to the side real quick and we'll wrap another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gonna do the same thing. Pull on those leads a little bit. Make sure everything's even. Scrunch that down a little bit. Pull on the leads. Beautiful. Clip these real quick. Alright, we got our other coil right here. Oh, we lost a screw. That's unfortunate. I'll just pop that out real quick. That was pro. I did not expect that to be that easy. Feed the first coil in here. Slowly. Got to really work through that center post. Make sure that lead comes out. There we go. Grab the right screwdriver. Screw down my negative post. Kind of mess with the coil a little bit, get it up there. And pull the middle lead, which has not been tightened down yet. That way. Gonna feed the next coil while avoiding that first lead. Trying to make sure everything just lines up perfectly. Tighten down the other negative post. Tighten down the positive post. Pull everything to the side real quick. We'll snip these leads. That lead off there. There we go. I'm going to readjust the coils so they're even. Perfect. Alright, now this is the Skelly 150 watt, so I'm going to crank it up to, first, I'm not going to crank anything. First I'm going to take it off of the box, put it on the ohm checker, or ohm reader, or ohm meter, whatever you want to call it, because safety first, my friends. Someone put this on backwards. Maybe. I just don't know how to thread anything. Oh, that's definitely on there backwards. Silly folks. There we go. That's right. Screw that on real quick. Nice and tight. 0.57. That's exactly what I wanted. Just right in that range. Grab that, put it back on the box mount. We're going to start off at around 30 watts and just warm those coils up. Do a little scrunching, and then we'll wick her up and see how she vapes. Going to start at 30 watts. just start pulsing just a little bit. There we go. Want everything to light up from the middle out. I'm just going to scrunch down a little bit. Pull these coils out just a little bit so I have a little more room to work with. You don't want to pull too hard or they will break, and breaking a coil is just about as much fun as a dry hit. Make sure the screws are tight. Gonna fire them up. They're glowing pretty. Gonna scrunch them down one more time. And just angle them the correct way and you're good to go. Gonna wick her up real quick. Alright, what's up guys? We are back. Now that we have it all wicked up and ready to go, we're gonna drip on it. Vape it real quick, make sure that everything's working correctly, and then I'll see you back on the other side of the video. Just gonna juice it up real quick. What I'm using right now is Blackberry Brulee Max VG by Bulldog Vapor. In case anyone was curious what deliciousness was going on to this atomizer. Make sure that's all juiced up. You don't want any dry wick. Start off light. Let's crank it up a little bit. We're gonna go up to 50 watts. No, you know what? No, why 50? When we can be happy. Gonna stop right at 40 watts. And according to the Sigelli, that's pushing about 4.6 volts of vapor at 0.5 ohms. Put your top cap on there. Perfect. That's a good Addy build. Alright folks, I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back my friends, and I realized something after I hit the stop button. Remember that stuff we said we were going to talk about and didn't actually talk about? Well, that's the stuff we're going to talk about now. So we're going to do the whole sheet right now after you watched me build, which if you did, God bless you. That was my first build video, and as you could tell, there are some things that need to be reworked, but moving forward, at a glance, Tugboat by Flawless. I'm not going to get into whether this is a version 1 or a version 2. Here's the reason, because the tugboats that Flawless sent us, and trust me, we checked and made sure that they came from Flawless, have a V2 deck and a V1 cap. That's weird. We know it's weird, that's why they're $45. You can get an authentic tugboat for $45 at Vapewares. We got a couple left. So moving on, USA made authentic 3-post rebuildable atomizer, deep juice well, and copper center post make this an epic RDA. And we're going to get into a little nitpicking down at the end with the cons. However, quick reference specs, 304 grade stainless steel, 3-post. I love 3-post. And as you can see, this build on the inside, there's stainless steel, and if you can see that, that's the copper middle post, and you probably can't, which is ridiculous, which is, you know what, we're just going to keep moving forward. Deep juice well and USA made. I will always support USA distributors. Well, that's not true. If you know me, you know there's one USA distributor I do not support. However, that's neither here nor there and has nothing to do with this video. Moving forward, what's in the box? What's in the box, guys? Saved by the bell. Tugboat RDA. Matching drip tip, which I think is cool. The RDA is serialized, and then so is the drip tip that matches it. Extra screws, extra O-rings, and a tiny little blue screwdriver, which we've all known and had and have plenty of if you've ever owned a rebuildable atomizer. Competitive Landscape states, The Tugboat RDA by Flawless competitive landscape consists of any 3-post authentic atomizer. In the case of Vapewares, the Doge, the Mutation X, and the Vulcan would all fall into this category. The Tugboat is the only one made of 304 grade stainless steel and that has a copper center post for better conductivity. Moving on to the pros and to the cons and the Vapewares rating. The pros: great build deck, 304 stainless steel, copper center post, large stock airflow, like you can see right there. It's a nice big old airflow hole. There's one on each side for dual coils. Clouds, bro. Clouds. Matching drip tip, which we discussed. The cons: leaking. What up, Tugboat? This information comes from just my personal experience and the personal experience of everyone who's ever owned a tugboat. They leak. There's a quick fix for that, though. You build, you juice up, put your top cap on. Right now, if you look, you can see that it's a little juicy, right there and around. However, there's a quick fix for that. The juice comes from the fact that you take your top cap off, drip, and then put it back down, and it forces some juice out onto the horizon. The surface of the mod. Moving forward, it does leak, but the quick fix is don't take your top cap off. Drip, drip, drip. Move forward. No adjustability on the airflow. You can drill more holes, but we're getting to the point with things like the Mutation X and the Dripper by Scottua, where you can just turn and change the airflow completely, which I think is awesome. Final con is that it does not sit flush on all mods. Little tiny thing under there can be adjusted depending on the mod, because as you know, most mods have the ability to adjust your pins, which will then in turn let your atomizer sit flush. Vapewares rating. Vapewares rating. Flavor production, 9. Vapor production, we're going to give her an 8. Design, 8. And the only reason it didn't get a 9 is because obviously the leaking issue. In capacity, 9, just because of the deep juice well. Overall, we're going to give her a 9, and that is pretty much it. Jerry, Jen, you're here. You want to come jump in, say hi to the people?
Absolutely.
Because we're done. We're pretty much done. Everybody just say hi.
Hi.
Anything you want to tell the people?
About?
I don't know. How about the fact that we're doing employees only this week?
Oh yeah, first episode. Look for it Sunday. Sunday will be the best day to look for that.
First episode of employees only. That's
What was
awesome.
what was this video on?
This video was on the Tugboat, the Sigella 150, the Aspire Mini, and the iStick. Thoughts?
Okay. 3 quick thoughts. iStick, have a mod, own an iStick. I love it for driving. It's safe. You're not dripping and driving. The flavor's phenomenal. Tugboat, I love the copper. The copper Tugboat, hands down, probably one of the best looking RDAs on the market. What was the third thing?
There were 4 things, but
okay.
Sigella 150 watt and the Aspire Nautilus Mini.
Love them both.
He loves them both. And that is everything from Jerry. You will see more of Jerry this weekend on Employees Only.
Hoorah!
Hoorah! And Jen says goodbye.
Bye.
See. And that's pretty much everything, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I hope to be doing another video soon. And we will talk to you later. Keep calm, vape on.